Hello, everybody. My name is Stratnos, and today we have a big-looking piece of news that is actually maybe a little bit more big about Xbox rather than about World of Warcraft, but let's dive into it because this post has gotten shared around in a lot of places, and I did want to make a quick video about it. So the title of this Wowhead post is World of Warcraft and all PC games coming to next-gen Xbox console per Windows Central. And then they cite a report by Windows Central that says the Xbox full screen experience will allow you to exit out to full Windows if you want to and run Steam, Epic Games Store, Battle.net, the Riot client, Adobe, Microsoft Office, whatever you want on your Xbox. And you can then access games traditionally not available on Xbox, including PlayStation games on Steam, so not PlayStation games that aren't on Steam, but games that are on PlayStation and Steam but not Xbox, you'd be able to access via Steam. Mouse and keyboard first games like League of Legends, even classic games from GOG, and also, World of Warcraft, right? You'll be able to play World of Warcraft via Battle.net. So you'll be able to install practically any game that runs on Windows with the new Xbox. So this isn't so much I think a lot of people have been thinking that with the directional changes in Midnight, with the pruning down to fewer ability keybinds, with the cleaning up of what all the buff tracking is, such that you don't need, and even in a lot of cases can't use anymore, add-ons to track them, that is setting up the game to go to console. And this isn't that news. This news is instead saying that Xbox, the new Xbox, is going to be able to play any PC game by basically being a PC, right? By being, a PC that runs the Xbox program by default, right? But then you can close out of that and just go to, you can go into any PC stuff that you want. Now, it is still worth noting that WoW is definitely moving in the direction where choosing to do this on the new Xbox is going to be a lot easier than it would have been with the older designs, right? Like, you won't need to do any weird stuff. I mean, in theory, you could potentially install add-ons as well, if it has the functionality of running any Windows stuff. Presumably, you'd have the ability to, download and install an add-on and put it in your World of Warcraft folder and then run World of Warcraft, right? It's basically saying, like, yeah, the Xbox is going to have the ability to basically be running Windows OS, right, in the background, which is not something that has worked on any console really in the past. The closest is thinking about like a Steam Deck, right? Something like that. I guess basically with, big picture mode for Steam and then also being able to just run it as a regular computer as well. So it's an interesting directional change here. I think that the big piece of news that some people have been tinfoiling will come for World of Warcraft isn't this. What you'd expect to see for that to be true is them saying like, okay, yeah, World of Warcraft will be playable on Xbox via like Game Pass or just as a game that you can get on Xbox, right? And that's not what this is. You're still downloading the PC version of the game and, using some controller support set up for it, right? To play it on Xbox that is in PC mode, right? But we're not seeing it being played in like console mode, right? The other piece of news would be if they said, yeah, World of Warcraft is coming to PlayStation, for instance, which I know some people would maybe think, oh, well, they wouldn't do that. They just want it on Xbox. But Windows, Microsoft now, they're putting Halo on PlayStation. So I think they're done with Xbox exclusives for the most part, because that was always the biggest, most exclusiviest title that was only on Xbox, right? That was the argument, was you'd be in middle school. I might be aging myself here, but you'd be in middle school, you'd be like, yeah, well, I can run Xbox, and they'd be like, yeah, well, I can run Gears of War, and that would be, the argument you'd be having over the, I don't even remember if Gears of War is the PlayStation, maybe it was God of War is the one I'm thinking of, that was the PlayStation exclusive. But yeah, anyways, this is the news here, so if you've heard something about them confirming WoW for console, this is likely what you've seen, or what people have been referencing. And I did want to clear up that it's not this doesn't change any information about what's happening to WoW. If you're of the perspective that Blizzard is preparing for that change, and maybe even knowing that this was coming, they wanted to make the World of Warcraft via controller experience better, you could certainly still think that. But this isn't really a big new piece of news in that department, because the main thing here is just the main piece of news is just that Xbox will let you play any PC games on the next generation version of it. Anyways, that's all the filling out of this video that I can do with this one little article. I'll link it, of course, in the description. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. See you in the next one. Bye.